Hi everyone, Angelo here, homeless filmmaker in LA. Been homeless for just over a year. Today's been a real struggle. I'm trying to do videos as long as I can, even though it's hard. Even though what's going on, if you don't know, I'm having a mental episode where I'm having delusions and sensory issues. And I guess my guess is depersonalization, derealization, which comes from basically trauma followed by unprocessed trauma, and then anxiety, some kind of anxiety or panic attack. I've gone through 3 major bouts in my life. They were all hell on earth. And last week in that motel, I had an anxiety attack. I didn't even realize it. It was so kind of low grade and snuck in. And I realized that it's been sort of coming for months, because the way I was handling my emotions and not able to process my deep feelings of rejection and being down and shame. And now the thing is, I don't feel anything in a way. I don't feel inhibitions. I don't feel numb. I mean, I do feel numb. I don't feel rejection. I don't feel hate. I don't feel sadness. I mean, they're sort of in there. Yeah, obviously there are things that could make me sad, but I have little ability to really... It's like you go through your day, you have urges that tell you what to do. You get up, you take your phone off the charger. I walked away from my desk at the library the other day, I almost forgot to take my phone. It's hard for me to even manage little things. I'm able to drive still, but I don't know. All I can do is tell myself, because I worry that I don't have the strength to fight it this time. Whereas always before, not always, one time I didn't feel I had it, but 2 times before I felt like I had this internal strength that was fighting it so much. Even though last time, the 9 months when I was disabled, I was positive I would never get better. Absolutely positive. I slept well for once last night. Went to the shower at the gym today. My hands didn't even seem real in the shower. I was seeing water come down the wall, like just tripping out. And it's like this weird blissed out feeling in a way, where it's almost like this like drugged up happiness, but it's not happiness. It's like numbness to emotions with this, oh, I don't feel any of the ups and downs of my day. I don't feel anything really. And I cannot emotionally fixate on stories or storytelling or connections with others. I can sort of, but it's really tough. I was almost thinking today, I don't even, in a way, it's not like I couldn't physically recognize who my mom is, but like I almost don't emotionally respond to her, like just to her presence on the phone. And now I always do in a way, but it's like, imagine like the difference between a potato that's firm and a potato that's been mashed up, mashed potatoes. That's like how I feel, where I'm not there, I'm just mush. And I worry, like, will my body fight it again this time? Or am I going to succumb to these delusions, these religious delusions that stem from my youth? And it would be hell on earth to try and, I don't know, I don't know, have any in me to fight. Always, to me, movies were the way of fighting it. And I don't know how I can feel anything real. My appetite, way suppressed. I had maybe 500, 600 calories to eat today. I don't want this to be just a sad story. I want to get better. I almost, knowing what I went through last time, I almost want it to hurt really bad, because that way at least I know it's working its way out of me. It's like, taking something to throw up poison. It's going to hurt a lot, but you got to do it. And sooner or later, I'm going to go to the emergency room, like psychiatric unit, and tell them I need admittance or something. But this morning was rough. I was having bad delusions and, not even able to follow conversation and stuff in a way. I can with others, but like I was listening to an old Loveline episode with Adam Carolla, and normally it's like, you feel the excitement, the thrill of jokes, of weird callers and stuff. It was like I was just spinning around with no guideline, no like foundation. It's weird to hear a conversation and not really perceive the emotions of it. When I was at my worst last time I was sick, I would turn on TV, which I could barely do, and not even understand that they were people on TV. It was just that messed up. I don't want to go through that again. That was hell on earth. I can't imagine how the next person would try and survive that. How I did, I had no choice. Because, as bleak as things get, I want to bounce back. I really do. I want to be a leader. I want to be there to make my mom's life better, and make her proud, and keep showing her for the star she is. And now it's like I'm just behind this smoky haze where I don't feel much, and all I can keep thinking is maybe tomorrow will be the day I get better. Maybe tomorrow. Because right now I'm so numb, like what could work? I don't feel anything much, except, man, when I was having these religious delusions this morning, I don't know how to describe it. Imagine almost like the wormhole sequence from 2001, or like in The Right Stuff, when Scott Glenn, or as playing Chuck Yeager, he breaks the sound barrier, and it's that dreamlike, multi-chromatic experience. It's almost like that. Like I'm just blissed out, but not in a good way. I don't want to feel that. I want to feel the elation, the excitement, the rush, the lows of my emotions. And I can't really make stories the way I used to, and I can't emotionally connect and take strength from and admire the things and people I like. I can watch a funny video or something and sort of connect to it, sort of find it funny. I can watch a Scotty Kilmer video, but I'm like, well, what's the point of all this? Time is endless, so nothing about cars even matters. And then there's the fact that, how am I having religious delusions? How can I survive this if it's like, okay, these religious delusions make me feel like I'm being pulled, like I'm a slave to these thoughts, towards religion. I can't get too specific or it's going to trigger me worse. I've talked about it before, but like I'm just going to be this slave ripped away into this hellish thing, and almost worse, that I'll eventually just submit to it and be like, yep, this is me now. My life is lost. It means nothing. And feel like it's real. But how can I do that when the way the church treats gay people is horrific, horrible? And it's not, even if they didn't actually treat them badly, the way that the stuff that they teach about them, how could I do that? I'd be constantly torn apart. And yet that's the position I'm in. I feel split in half in a way. There are positions about transgender people that so bigoted, so transphobic, so cruel. How could I buy into that? About just people in general with different lifestyles. And the fact that men are the clergy. And it's like, come on, how obvious is it that this was a religion made by men? What is it about women that they can't lead? Oh, men have a different character from God? So it's nice that I can at least think this on, a cerebral level, but viscerally, my emotions are, I don't know. All I'm trying to do now is just make it to the point where hopefully I get better. Somehow I need to make money during this time too. I'm thinking maybe, because I'm not going to be able to work on movie sets much longer. It's excruciating. All I can think is some very menial job. I can't even do something like sorting packages at Amazon. That's going to require a lot of mental strength I don't know if I can do. I can't be a bouncer. That's going to be excruciating. I don't know, maybe because of the physical activity at Amazon, maybe I could do that. Maybe, what else? I'm trying to think. Some kind of basic cleaning job or something. But again, it's going to be very, very painful for me. Extremely painful. And when I see other people, it's like I don't even emotionally recognize them there. It's like I have to be sure, like I'm going to have my wits about me, that I don't just, not pay attention to where I'm walking down the street, as simple as that. I know I seem normal right now. I seem like, well, I'm here, but my memories before last Wednesday when I had the anxiety attack, it's like they were a different person. They're not my memories anymore. So I take that to mean something of like, a little bit of reason to have hope when I have no hope. Which is to say that it's reason to hope because it is a telltale sign of a disorder. It's not just, oh, this is what the universe is choosing for me. It's a disorder. And I have no idea how I'll bounce back from this. No clue. The only thing that gives me a little rush of feeling human in a way is, once in a while going on Instagram, clicking like on a post, seeing that heart pop up a little bit. I'm not sure how long that will last though. When I was at my most sick last time, I felt so little I couldn't even turn on my computer on my worst day. And all I would have turned it on for is like just to check my email, just see if I got anything relevant for me. And talking at least does help. These videos do help because it's weird. It's environmental in a way. When I'm quiet a lot, it gets to me. So it's like, again, how would that be God doing that? So God only affects you when you're numb and hazy, but when you move and talk more, it helps. But talking only does so much, and then it stops doing much. I don't know. I look back and think how wrong is my life to be going through this. I'm glad I can at least just sit here these few moments and enjoy the look, the nice lens and the beautiful image on the camera, the light at night. I don't know how much longer I will be capable of doing that. Like I said last time, I couldn't even make videos. Could not. Somebody asked me one day, could I bring my camera and take video or pictures for them? I said, just no, I can't. It will be so excruciating. It will be as if a vice had clamped down on me. It's hard to believe, right? It's hard to understand, well, why would that hurt so much? I don't know. And I'm scared it will get that painful. Either way, even if I get better, I'm scared it will be that painful like it was last time, which it was the worst hell I've ever had to live through. Just the absolute worst. I didn't have sleep paralysis last night. That was different. So I know something's changing about my experience I'm going through. I had it for 2 or 3 nights where I'd wake up and be like, couldn't move for like 3 seconds, 2 seconds or so. I've got my prescription for Seroquel and guanfacine. And what I hope, even though to me it's like I've given up hope, not given up, I have none. I have no power left to hope. But what I do hope is out there somewhere in my future is getting better and showing a massive transformation story of change. And not just change like, you change yourself, but of triumph. Of like, look how sick a person can get, look how much better they can get. And let this be a lesson for others in how to take care of themselves and also what not to do to kids. You put them through Christian schools and stuff, and you just hope the trauma, and the disturbing teachings that you give them doesn't graft itself onto them too much. And for a kid like me who is very submissive to authority, I would just buy into it and go along with it, and it left an indelible mark in a way. And I don't know what to do to survive this. Hopefully I can get some very menial job and hold it together for the job interview and stuff. Just get a little money coming in. And I'm so sorry I'm like this to you. I'm so sorry. I want to be a leader. I want to be a motivator. I want to be someone who thrills and excites people. I don't want to be this person that's sick and sad. People say, "Oh, that's Angelo. We lost him. You know, he not maybe not, you know, physically, but like we lost him. Like, well, he's just whatever. He mentally he's gone." As I'm saying that, my legs are starting to feel a little numb. Isn't that odd? And oh God, I thought I was going to see an accident. At least that did give me a little feeling of reality. My appetite is still not really there. Couldn't work out this morning. Weird. Why are my legs going numb? That's got to be a disorder, right? I just don't want to get so far gone that I believe this stuff, and my mind, I don't know. I just, there's part of me that wants to, that kind of thinks, well, why should I be the lucky one that recovers when, you know, you think, oh, everything works out. Well, there are so many people who desperately wish that things would work out for them, that they'd have another day to live, or their loved one would. And they don't. So why should I be any luckier with this condition? You know? Sometimes I just think my mind will be forever lost, tumbling downward. The only thing I could think is last time I thought that as well, and it took 9 months of hell on earth. 9 months of absolute torture, of forgetting what it's like to be a human being. And somehow I bounced back. I never really did get proper treatment. I always just bury things, you know. As much as I try and be well and be into wellness and stuff, I did just bury a lot of things. And that was, to me, working. And it's kind of, you know, you kind of have to do that in a lot of ways, because what are you going to do? Just always, all the time, you know, be focused on what's bothering you? You have to, you know, use it. But then it was also exciting and exhilarating. Like, yeah, you know, there are things that, you know, trouble me, but they're also giving me great pleasure in that it just lets me feel the excitement of my day. And it's fine to have that. It wasn't but the worst things. Also, something that was happening while I was sleeping the last few days, but not last night, around the left side of my hip, it would feel burning hot when I would start to fall asleep. I don't know what that, how would that, I kept checking, like, is there anything by my hip that would cause that? My phone wasn't in my pocket. I'll have my phone, you know, sitting next to me. I'm like, why is that? And I would get up and it would stop. Same thing, I was on a movie set yesterday. I fell asleep in a chair for like an hour towards the end of the night, and felt it a little on my leg. So it wasn't coming from my car. So that's got to be a disorder, right? The problem is, can a person get so far gone where their mind is just taken for forever? I'm scared, and I can't think about how am I going to function and cope and take care of myself. And I'm just so sorry I'm like this. I never want to let people down. You know? I want to be someone who excites people and motivates them and does, you know, and creates an exciting life for my mom. And not only that, ultimately for me. You know, to have an exciting life for me that's full of the stories I want to tell. Right now, I can't perceive stories. Like, there's no color, there's no taste, nothing. To sit in a diner or something and eat is painful. Going to the bathroom is becoming more of a labor. Shaving. My appetites are just all suppressed. Not just, you know, hunger. And a little something here and there might shake me up. And I was able to eat lunch on set yesterday on the film. But I don't know how long I'll be able to really do all that. I'm just hoping my mind rights itself. It sort of does its flip and rights itself. What scares me is the thought that I was for 6 years pretty much well. So does that mean it's going to take another, 3 years to get better? And on the other hand, what I thought is the first time I was sick took 15 months to sort of get to the point where it's like, okay, I'm now entering recovery, I'm better. 15 months to where, you know, I was like, just something flipped in me. And I was like, all of a sudden I was like, oh, I don't have to do this anymore. And I was better. It took another like year and a half to become myself again in a way. But I knew from that moment, oh, this is so much better than what I went through before. 15 months. Next time it took about a year. Next time 9 months. So maybe 6 months this time. And in the meantime, you know, I just hope I'm not forgotten and lost, and that people can see a story of overcoming when I do overcome this. As much as me says I'm not going to be able to do it. That this isn't even a disorder. This is just, hey, this is just what the universe is. But like I said, with those religious delusions, they'll tear me in half, because even last time I would talk to clergy and stuff when I was in this excruciating pain and say, well, you know, really I was trying to, I don't know, somehow feel my doubts more strongly, or I don't know, figure out what to do. It was, man, I can't, hell on earth, it's the closest thing to describe it, the pain I was in. But I would say stuff like, well, how come this book of the Bible says Judas died this way, he killed himself, but another says he was struck by lightning? How can this be God if there's basic errors like that? Or different accounts, you know, stories added to Jesus's life and stuff. And yet, part of me gets worried thinking, oh, I'm not deluded. Really, my brain is tapping into the truth, because how else could this thing have so perfectly grafted itself onto me so powerfully where my mind keeps going to it? And yet, intellectually, I could not buy into it. The only way I could is if I'm like this, like my mind is enslaved by this feeling, because I know I can't believe this stuff. It would be horrific, and it would also to me mean nothing in life matters, because all life is just a simple little test. And it scares me, because also I know there are some people who believe that stuff, and yet, and so I wonder, well, what if I end up like that? You know, what if I somehow end up like a person like that and I can't stop myself anymore? I lose my free will. I literally lose my free will. But also those people, they sort of, you know, they're not like this. They're not having this disorder. They are being themselves in a way, even if what they're being is despicable and a fanatic. But why would these religious images and thoughts have such primacy in my mind, so much power? Well, they did dominate my youth, but anyways, yeah, it just frightens me, because it's like, I don't know how I have the strength to resist it this time. I don't. And every day waking up is so scary. The sensations I feel. I'm going to try maybe to go to the gym tonight. I'm not going to go to the emergency room yet. I thought I would, but I'm not. I'm going to wait maybe another day or two, and then see. Like, I can't even sit down and watch a movie, I don't think. It would be excruciating for me. So, I don't know. Keep me in your thoughts. Let me know, share the video, you know, just so if anyone out there, there's so little info on the brain and the mind, especially depersonalization, derealization. You know, I get scared reading symptoms and thinking, oh, well, this one doesn't describe me, and this one doesn't, and this one doesn't. So I don't know what to think. And then people with DPDR say, do stuff to feel back in your body. Like what? When I'm like this, I can't. What am I supposed to do? Go to a war zone just so I feel a shock of war or something on me? You know, can't do it. I heard one guy say on YouTube, like, go, you know, date someone, fall in love. Hello? If I'm numb, how can I do that? If I'm numb, how can I enjoy my hobbies? I have no hobbies when I'm like this. I'm barely able to sort of emotionally attach to the people I admire anymore. You know, they say live your life, keep living your life. How was I supposed to do that when I was pacing uncontrollably 23 hours a day and screaming in pain? What am I going to enjoy when the conversation about film even hurts me? So what do? All I can do is hope that I'm wrong and that I'm foolish and that I can't see this as well as others can, and that I actually will get better and I'll get proper treatment, even though I firmly believe there is no proper treatment. I can't help it, but I will try. And I hope this poison works its way out of me and I'm done with it for good this time. 6 years is the longest in my adult life I've gone without this, and it's horrible because I always knew it was lurking there in the background, and I sort of let it slip into my life. I didn't regulate my emotions well enough this time, and I didn't really deal with my feelings of failure, so it almost became this like sort of soothing sensation to let them slowly go into this ether where I do become numb, and not just like this sort of, you know, like blissed out feeling, but it's like it's not like a great feel, like a euphoria. It's like I can't perceive emotion, but I'm kind of blinded, but I'm always like got this kind of blind kind of happiness in a way, but I don't, where I don't feel all the highs and lows of the movies I'm watching. And that's when I should have known this was coming, but my emotions were too much to handle. And I didn't know back when I was 17 that this was a mental disorder. I thought, oh, this is real. This is God doing something to me. So I don't know what to think, except, you know, I hope this does two things. It tracks my progress, and it adds to the information out there, which is so fucking lacking. Psychiatrists often don't know shit about this. Psychologists often don't know shit about this. The doctor I talked to the other day fucking brushed me off like he had no concern for my well-being. He's like, oh, well, I don't think this is DPDR. Kept typing in his computer, you have this? Okay, maybe this will treat it. Whatever, maybe this will. That gave me more anxiety, and I don't even have anxiety right now. That's the problem. I feel like nothing. I see people walking down the street. I can't even imagine how they could do that and not be in such terrible pain, because I forget what it's like to do that without such pain. I almost get scared. I'll just not care about my health. I'll not eat well, and I'll like get cancer or something and die. Now, obviously I don't want to do that. Obviously I want to make everyone proud. And obviously this is a bad disorder, and the fucking Christians who say, oh no, you just went after the wrong God. So what does this have to do with God? What? So if that's what happened to me, why don't other people go through this? I mean, other people go through DPDR, but why not this version? Why not? Makes no sense. But of course, when you're a Christian like that, you cannot imagine, you can't even entertain the possibility that you're wrong. And yet other Christians can enjoy their lives, enjoy their passions, enjoy movies. You know, they don't feel numb like this. So anyways, I've talked on long enough. I hope all this punishment I'm putting myself through to keep doing these helps me get better and helps add to the information out there, and maybe motivates someone, you know, to be a psychologist or something and actually give people proper treatment instead of these fucking doctors, the ones who are like the psychiatrist I saw the other day, or doctor or whatever, just didn't give a shit about me, man. I fucking hate that guy. He's just like, as much as it's possible for me to feel it, he's just sitting there like he was fucking like on his lounger or something at home. Like, okay, you have this. No emotion from him, no expression whatsoever. And that was like my psychiatrist too, from 2013. It's just like, yeah, okay, with his fucking big gulp on his desk all the time, like, okay, you have this, well, here's, you know, prescription. So I'm worried. I'm still feeling numb, but I should wrap this up and get going. All right. Thanks, everyone. Again, I'm sorry for being like this. I don't want to be like this. I want to be your entertainer, your, showing exciting possibilities for life. But, it's part of life too.